Alrighty, welcome back to the what we're thinking we're gonna call the A1D1 show, or A1 from day one. Anthony Edwards, here I am. I am the pseudo podcast host, along with the official podcast host Ashwin. Hello everyone, welcome back. And I did mess up your screen, Ashwin. Do you see that? Oh my goodness. Oh,
No, but I don't care.
that's okay. We're still having some technical difficulties.
Oh, I
Discord's
see
been
it now.
down.
I see it now.
We're gonna work on it. I'll be working on it as we talk here, but I guess then while I'm working on that, Ashwin, what was your Taco Bell take of the game?
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know, man. I tons of positives. I really came out like kind of uh off the jump, kind of just like wanting to see just 10 assists from D'Lo, like 10 boards from like a guard. Sort of to see some like excitement from our bench, and we got a lot of that. And so my expectations were very fucking low. Let's not lose by 20. And my Taco Bell take of the night is I think we have maybe a pseudo answer at the four.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I am crazy excited. I have been begging for this for so long, and Vanderbilt finally played. He came in the first quarter, right? At the end of
Second
the
quarter.
was it the second? Okay, but either way,
Yeah.
he has not seen time until mid to late third quarters before tonight. So to see him come in the second quarter and absolutely dominate right off the bat, it was like, oh, this vindication of like, yes, finally, he needs these minutes, he deserves these minutes, and it's about time because we have been asking for this forever. And then we've got Trash Panda back again. Thank you for coming back, Trash Panda.
Yeah, think again, man.
But it says great game all around. Realistically, poor runs by Nas and Rubio. Yes, Nas and Rubio, man, they killed us tonight. They killed us. But you're right. It was a good game. And it's funny because we actually didn't lose by that much more than we lost the other night. But this game was infinitely, infinitely better. I just couldn't believe. I mean, the first quarter, I was like, okay, here we go again. Like we're down by what 15 or whatever it was. I was ready for another absolute tank game where everybody sucks, and then suddenly Vanderbilt comes in. Vanderbilt comes in, and Wancho. What the hell? Wancho came
I don't
out,
know.
Hakeem Olajuwon, and he's putting spin moves in the post. He's shooting threes. I mean, he had like what 5 or 6 threes tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, I even wrote down in the beginning. I was like, Wancho needs to stop hesitating on these open threes because he gets a lot of open threes, and this is maybe jumping into too in depth of a conversation not right off the bat because I do want to recognize some people real quick, but I just like seeing Wancho perform like this tonight and Vanderbilt. It just makes me be like, oh my goodness, please, please, please have Cat come back soon because I need to see this. And it looks like we've got PDX ARP Fox with a link in the chat. I
That
can't.
link is to Josh Okogie injury to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when the injury happened.
Yeah. Hyperexcited is like his thigh or something. So
He was actually questionable up until like an hour before game time. So there was there was actually some possibility that he could have played tonight, but it sounds like Okogie could be back.
PDX, same here, man. Like one of the lowest seasons I've ever experienced was a couple years ago, and that one lone bright spot was Josh Okogie, just like nonstop energy and that block against Harden. Man, what a thrilling like conclusion to that season was when that happened. But
Definitely.
yeah, I'm also praying him hard. He's from my alma mater, Georgia Tech, so I'm a big fan for him, big fan of his as well. So, yeah. But back on track here, I can't wait for Josh Okogie to be back. But we kind of have we're grooming some players to play some meaningful minutes. I was really happy with what I saw from the majority of our roster, and we didn't kind of bow down and break at the sign of a first 15-point lead from the Denver Nuggets, which apparently happens in every game in every first quarter. We're just going to say, hey, we're going to set ourselves up with a negative 20 par.
Yeah.
We're going to set ourselves up with a giant hole, call a timeout. 1, 2, 3, family. Let's get going. Let's get our juices going. Did you guys have a good holiday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid fucking
And to be honest,
waste of time.
it's weird. It's kind of happened to a lot of teams around the league. I hyper focus so much on the Wolves, but like there's a lot of teams out there that are getting blown out on every night. It's kind of interesting. And actually, I'm gonna switch us to we're gonna get some chat up in here, see if this works. I made a new little screen for us so that we could see some of your chats on screen, so that when we replay this on YouTube, it's not completely lost on everybody that's watching. So.
Cool. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So yes, that was you, Ashwin. I didn't even realize that was you in the comments. That Ant dunk got me out of my seat, and I was sitting right here watching. I stood up, but no, this game is like a general overview of this game. My Taco Bell take was. This was us improving on exactly what D'Lo said the other night about we need to learn how to lose. Even though I don't know if I necessarily agree with that mentality, this definitely was a better loss. I mean, there are good losses and bad losses, and just like we were talking about last night with Trash Panda and Wiseman and all those guys that we're watching, I mean, it really depends on what your mindset is for this team right now. Because if you're really hard in like, yeah, we got to make the like playoffs or bust kind of a mentality, then again, I mean, tonight was better, and this is more of an acceptable loss. But there are no acceptable losses in that scenario that you put yourself in. But if you're putting yourself in a scenario of like, oh, we want to grow and we want to get better and wait for our guys to stop being injured, like this was a great game, even though it doesn't count as a win, and it puts us to 2-5 and at the bottom. So.
I mean, Wolves fans are always, we're notorious for accepting disappointment. Not just Wolves fans, but like Vikings fans, Twins fans, worldwide fans of Minnesota, shit sports. We're going to be mediocre forever. But, with all the mediocrity comes a ton of trash can basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're building. We're in a way we're kind of rebuilding. A rebuild, right? And getting to the postseason that one time was good enough to get like a little hit of ecstasy or something,
Mm-hmm.
but like it wasn't sustainable, and it didn't look like it from the get go. And so we're kind of throwing Ryan Saunders into the gauntlet here. So much like so many variables to try to overcome, but I feel like a steady hand, like a veteran coach, would kind of know how to mature and groom these players into doing something very basic, fundamental, and routine consistently. And we are kind of all over the place. One quarter here, the other quarter there. The fourth quarter, we're just miserable. And it feels like when we have this little hit of like excitement, when we tie the game or take a lead some point in the season, like in some game, in one of the games here, like we kind of just like fold. We're like, hey, that's it. The game should be over now. We win. We're high as hell. And what happened was in that fourth quarter, whatever momentum we built up to that point was completely curtailed by the end of the quarter. The fourth quarter was just dominated by Jokic and our incessant, foul-prone bigs and some costly play by Ricky Rubio.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And it like in the third quarter, it was that feeling of like, yeah, we're playing really well. We're winning. The game like is in our control right now. And we just ease off the gas, and then we make a series of plays starting the fourth that just are bad plays, Rubio in particular, and then even some D'Lo shots that were just like ill-advised. And like I know he can make those shots, but man, oh man, they're just killers to miss at that time in the game when we have a tie game, and then you go down and it's like you give up 8 points. We were on Denver was on a 15-0 run coming out of the third into the fourth. So it's like you can't be shooting threes and just quick transition. I mean, like you're giving them transition opportunities where we really need to be controlling the game still, like we had been in that third and second quarter. But yeah, it was that's an unfortunate spelling error there, PDX. But
I like that. But yeah, I'm not trying to like correct you or anything, but like going into the fourth, we were I don't think they had like a giant run on us, but from the end of the fourth or from the end of the third going into like the first few minutes of the fourth, it ballooned into a 17-2, 17-4 run, and those only points in the fourth quarter were from Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, this is the Vanderbilt pod along with the Anthony Edwards pod, but
yeah, for sure.
but I mean Vanderbilt, man, oh man, he needs time. I know that he's sloppy at times, but I kept thinking about my stupid comparison of Nas Reed to Patrick Beverley,
Patrick Beverly.
which I still didn't hate. But Vanderbilt, honestly, would have been a better thing for me to say in that situation because Vanderbilt tonight was getting up and really, I mean, obviously, Jokic had technical fouls. And then that, oh my God, him doing the pull up on the rim, I literally died watching him do that.
Yeah,
But
because he doesn't dunk ever, and he's been asked to dunk, and then the one pull up after a dunk is so hilarious to see that.
yeah, they didn't waste any time to tee him up on that either. It
Yeah.
was like they could see him going up, and they're like, no, you're done. But man, oh man, and then I mean, just another little brief little insert here. How about Dave Benz with the wild conspiracy on the number 85 ref?
Yeah. He must be playing some Among Us, you know.
He must be, man. Oh man, third imposter.
What are you doing? What are you doing over in admin?
Yeah, God. Just like, I mean, it's just like the perfect Dave Benz moment of like
Dude, so
saying,
much Dave Benz.
oh gosh, I love him, but at the same time, that was like too much. That was just like, what are we doing? What is the purpose of this conversation?
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I wanted to do before we got too deep into the game and all the individual play from players, I wanted to shout out and replay some alerts because we had a couple new followers after our pod on what was it, Sunday? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
So I'm gonna repeat those alerts for everybody, and we'll see our follower goal go up. How about that, everybody? Let's get some W's in chat.
That's what they came here for. Random fuckers joining us.
But it's Valiance. I believe that's how you say it.
It's Valiance.
It's Valiance. Do you know them?
That's my fucking friend.
Ah,
Shit.
nice. That's okay. Well, I screwed up the name, so we've got them joining us. We've got another one. Fluffy Acorn Gaming has followed us. That's quite the name.
Yeah.
And then also we've got somebody. This was today, I think. It says Nakiri345. You know them?
No.
I don't know them either. I love seeing the new followers. Feel free to give us a follow. I mean, obviously we do this after every single game, win or loss, like we said last time. But I want to get into some memes and then play highlights. So let's get into some memes first.
All right.
I probably should have saved the people that shared these in the subreddit.
It's gone.
But this was very accurate. I mean, we have that and we were talking about this. It felt like we had a big lead, but since we had been down so much in the first quarter, it was like we had this lead and then immediately it was like gone, just all fun gone. Not all fun. I mean, it was still fun. But I felt this.
Oh, dude, my favorite thing was in Reddit. I posted a screenshot to you. Was Vyman with the Josh Okogie emoji with -1 downvotes said, "Coach better, Ryan. You fuck ass."
Yes, let's get that in.
I
here.
love that so much.
Here we go. I've got
it. Fuck ass. Just coach.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Let's get it up here.
Let's get it up. All right.
There, I gotta call them out.
Fancy
though.
memes.
Yeah, there we go. And then what else do we got here? We've got so interesting. Oh, we'll save that one for last. Vanderbilt and then Ben Simmons. That was pretty great.
Dude, that's really good.
I love that. And then I mean, this isn't really sources. This is just Karl Towns' significant other. But on
Jordan Woods.
Somebody asked, CarlTowns.forever asked, is Cat's wrist okay? And then she said, it's getting better every day. He'll be back soon, or hopefully he's back soon. So
I wonder if that's like Kevin Durant's burner account,
God, yeah. Karl Towns forever.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. We can read into whatever this is. Good for Jordan Woods to give us the people what they want.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she's somebody we should be following.
Regular PR move, which is no real information. But,
exactly. But
heart emoji, so I feel the love.
Yeah. But let's get into some highlights. So we've got the highlights started. Obviously, the game started, and honestly, I kind of thought in the beginning we looked very active yet sloppy. We were making a lot of mistakes in the beginning. We were faster, and like there's a lot of games where we've come out and look kind of like sleepy almost.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think that happens a lot at home games. I think when we're at home, We just don't get energized. This is both when there were fans there and when there weren't fans there, just because we didn't have a ton of fans there, where every other arena is getting sold out. But it's like we just come out sleepy and lackluster. And today we came out with energy and we kept the game semi close. Obviously, I mean we got down by 10, but and like we were making mistakes, we weren't making shots, but we were at least being active. And then Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt comes in. I don't know what his final stat line was, but man, oh man, I think he had over 10 points, and
yeah, you did 11.
He had well over, I'd say, 20 effort plays.
Like an Andre Kirilenko like stat sheet.
Yeah.
5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. He did it all. He does it all.
I thought he was.
That's a pretty good comparison for him.
Incredibly.
Although he doesn't shoot at all.
Maybe. I think, yeah, that's true. He needs to be, if he was a better shooter, he's kind of like Pascal Siakam without shooting.
Oh.
I like
without
that.
anything. Yeah.
No, he's got some defense. And I think lengthwise he's very similar. But he's just such an interesting little 4 player, because like watching him steal these inbounds passes or these like passes into the post to Jokic was like, I just was loving it. And then he's running up the court with it, giving it decent passes, no tragic Bronsons. I mean, I'm all exactly. I'm all for that.
I was happy about seeing some of that transition shit. Actually, like seeing that in the first half. I even wrote, dare I say, point Vando.
Oh,
that fast break jam to Anthony Edwards was just like orgasmic.
Vando jam.
So okay, my early game thoughts. There are many. There are 1,000 thoughts, and I'll kind of condense them into like at least 100. But there was way too much Juancho. For whatever reason, he was making shots, which was great. We'll find him and everything. I don't want to rely on Juancho Hernan-Gomez, because 1 out of 6 games he shows up. That's cool. Maybe there's like some growing pains of being in a new system, after being, on hiatus or, without basketball, COVID protocols and stuff like that. So I give him some of that benefit of the doubt, but I don't want to rely on him to score like more than 10 points a game, like I don't want that. But it was nice to see, without Cat, someone stepping up that wasn't D'Lo, that wasn't Malik Beasley, the kind of like the usual crew. It was great to see someone step up. However, with Juancho in the game, the Nuggets scored at will.
Yeah.
Juancho is such a dud defensively. He tries, he gets a lot of rebounds, a lot of those like semi-uncontested rebounds, he'll get those. But Nuggets scored on 9 of their first 10 possessions, 11 of their first 15. They ballooned a lead to like 15 or 20 points almost. And it was just like, what are we doing out there? Except for if Juancho wasn't making shots, we'd be down by 50.
It's true. Yeah.
And so I was really frustrated with how our offense was moving and how we were trying to like run the ball. It only kind of started happening when Vanderbilt came in the second quarter, where like this little energy hustle play turned into like a double screen on offense, and then there was like a 3 by D'Lo, or there was like a 3 by Edwards or something. I don't remember exactly who it was, but that kind of started our comeback, so to speak, in the first half. And we saw the first alley-oop of the season. Like, we're a team full of young dudes, and we've never had an alley-oop. I always was frustrated by that. Like, our young squad of Cat and everything, and Zach LaVine and Andrew Wiggins, we barely alley-ooped it. This should have been the new Lob City.
Biggest pet peeve of mine in my entire life was us not dunking with them.
Oh, yeah. So, first alley-oop of the season, Anthony Edwards to, Jared Vanderbilt. That was really cool to see. And to close out the second quarter was a steady dose of D'Lo. D'Lo was kind of like taking over the game in kind of like small spurts, getting to the free throw line. He's reading the critics and what they're fucking saying. He's listening to our show. He's like, enough of that shit, right? I'm gonna get into my own groove here. I'm gonna find my way into this game. And he takes these really weird looking shots, but they go in like that. And he gets to the line, and it kind of helped encompass a 34-13 run by the Timberwolves. That was really cool to see, and closing out the first half.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's moments where D'Lo, he really shows that it's like, yeah, this is the D'Lo we need on this team, and he's doing pick and roll with Vanderbilt especially, and it just looks amazing. And then there's also times where I think I have this kind of negative view, because I feel like he makes a lot of shots, or takes a lot of shots that are just ill-timed, that kind of kill momentum at times. At the same time, he can be that person that absolutely makes those soul crushing shots that I talk about that can take the team out of the game. And we took the game away from the Nuggets going into the half. They were
Yeah.
sputtering. They had nothing. They were taking terrible shots. They felt so much pressure from our offense and our defense that it was, I mean, they couldn't do anything. And now I wanted to go back to one thing you said, because I think I haven't, I mean, Wancho has been a dud this season. Other than today's offensive game,
Yeah.
he has been an absolute dud, to the point where it's like Andrew Wiggins level bust level, where it's like, okay, you can't do anything that we thought you'd be able to do. So what are we paying you for? I mean, given it's only $7 million a year versus 30, but it's like I've been really tough on him. Now, not to say that he doesn't deserve it, because he does deserve criticism when he's had the games that he's had, other than today. But they brought up a good point in the broadcast tonight, saying that, like, I totally forgot about his visa issues and the fact that he didn't even get to play in the tiny amount of the pregame, or not pregame. What am I trying to say? The like the warm ups before the season began. He didn't
Yeah.
play in any of that. So
Yeah, we had like a mini training camp, pre-training
training camp. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word,
That
but
doesn't matter.
training camp, he was like barely there. He was busy being a movie star too. So it's just maybe I've been a little bit too hard on him, and I think I've been too hard on the team in general. I think I need to cool it a little bit on the hate and the, oh my gosh, the season's over, yada yada yada, because it's going to be hard to have a successful year with the way that the West is. However, if you look at the standings, if you're one of those people that are like looking at the standings every day like I am, it doesn't actually look that terrible. There's a lot of teams that coming into tonight were 2-4 or 2-5, and
including the Denver Nuggets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they kind of played like that tonight. They played like that until maybe the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, or maybe like the middle 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, because like they did not play well in the end of the game, and they did not play, or in the very end of the fourth quarter, and they did not play well in the very beginning of the fourth quarter either. But
sure.
But yeah, I mean, Vanderbilt, obviously. One thing I noticed in the first half is Culver, both offensively and defensively, still struggling. He's going back to struggling again, and he's somebody that I've also kind of been hating on. But he was being put on, and this is why we need Okogie back. But he was being put on Murray, and he just can't guard Murray. Given Murray's so talented, he just can't. There's just no shot for him to guard him.
Yeah, unbelievably though, Murray was quiet. I feel like they were deliberately trying to get Gary Harris involved early in the game, and they were trying to get Will Barton, Thrill Barton, some burn here, some like lead ball handling positions as well. So like Murray was kind of taking a back seat, or he was actually kind of nursing some sort of like injury, because I saw him hobbling a couple times.
Oh, did you?
Maybe that's just part of his nature, but I don't know. I just saw that, and like I noticed in the box score, he didn't really kind of take over the game at all, and you barely saw him out there. Really, like his presence was not there, like in the first game. So I was kind of surprised that they didn't go to Murray as much as they should have. But at the same time, why do they need to when they're up so big in the first half? The fact that we were kind of crawling back our way in, and inevitably taking the lead up to like 7 points or something was great. Was a great sign of like um, just like fortuitous, just like kind of taking it on the chin, but don't like fall over after like a small little dent here and there, right? So I was really pleased to see our team step up, and like how awesome was it? Kind of by like forced the hand, because the bigs got into foul trouble. Like Ed Davis barely saw the court on the second half, even though he did pretty well in the first quarter at least. Mm-hmm. Nas was an absolute disaster tonight, but I don't want to really, negatively paint a picture for him. He was just like in a bad position all game. But because of early foul trouble and constant foul trouble from our bigs, Vanderbilt got a whole lot of time. And so like 8 minutes in the third quarter, guess who comes in? It's Jared Vanderbilt. It was pretty wild. Like we've been kind of calling for his name to get some burn with the starters, and we got it through necessity, but also we got it. So it was really fun to see, and that helped transpire into instant energy, instant offensive rebounds, buckets in the fourth quarter, and a 7-point lead at one point.
Yeah, and I think it just goes to show that you don't Vanderbilt. I mean, Vanderbilt was guarding Jokic the entire time, so he's. I mean,
Yeah,
and he was defending him well at points, and I think that just goes to prove against Jim Pete's point that he made tonight, and he said size does matter, so notate that one. But I don't think it did. I mean, Vanderbilt obviously is a big for us, but on many teams he would be a very 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 small power forward. So I think he guarded so well tonight. He was, I've kind of mentioned this in previous shows of ours that all of our players are being stretched at least 20%, if not 50% beyond their capacity. And I think Vanderbilt has been playing 100% beyond his capacity. And I think
agreed.
I think he defensively and even offensively with pick and rolls and screens, he's just that was perfect timing, screen right there.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it's just it's a beauty to see him out on the court. I mean, he was at some point tonight he was like plus 17. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
and I get plus minus isn't that great of a thing, but it clearly was his doing tonight. Like he was the one that changed the game to make it a game for us. If we don't
For
have
sure.
Vanderbilt, this game does not look like how it did tonight.
Yeah. Um, I just want to say some like pontificate a little bit on the future of this team. I had so much fun watching, the amount of shots that Edwards took tonight, which because, every two he takes a three or whatever, every three he takes a turnover, he gets a turnover or something. I don't care about any of that. But what I kind of see in the future is him driving the lane late in games, getting buckets, getting and ones.
Yeah.
All those misses are going to go in sometime. All those misses and all those foul calls that he's like, pleading with the refs for, like thinking of, he's got fouled for, he's going to get fouled and he's going to get to the line. All that really, really excites me because all that stuff we never had. We have never had that type of player. And seeing glimpses of that, even though it's like a shell of what it can be early right now, is really, really exciting.
Yeah, he watching him tonight also was, especially, I can't remember exactly what quarters he was doing super well. I think it was the second and third that he was really popping off. But like you said, his driving to the basket, he he has playmaking ability, and although he didn't make as many passes as he has been in previous games, um, his playmaking ability and finishing at the rim is incredible. He's finishing over Jokic with tons of contact and not getting calls. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if this was Trae Young, he would have had 20 free throws tonight, minimum. But since it's Anthony Edwards,
Yeah, exactly.
if he's Anthony Edwards, he's a rookie, so he doesn't get that treatment. But
Yeah.
by the way, everybody, we kind of have this hate relationship with Trae Young and his
Yeah.
ability to
As
get
everyone
fouls.
should.
But I
As
mean,
everyone should.
it's crazy to me. I just looked at this, and Edwards shot 6 of 19, which seems crazy to me because there were spurts where it seemed like he was taking over
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, the scoreboard is a little deceiving. Like the fact that Nikola Jokic is 35 and 15. It was a little weird to see that stat line because he went to the line 1,000 times. He didn't really make a whole lot of easy shots. It was just a couple lay-ins here and there. It was like very very contested, and then he got to the line a ton. And seeing Compazzo and Gary Harris and Millsap and JaMychal Green. I'm saying their fucking roster all getting to double digits. That kind of like little amounts of sustained play adds up to a victory. But like no one really took over the game for them. We were kind of giving them free points at the line and like kind of like ticky tack fouls equals like early positions to get into the line early in quarters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still think getting to the line for our team is going to be a huge struggle this year just because of how small we are. But we need
Yeah.
we need to be attempting that because we need to be taking these bigs out of the games. If we're not going to have bigs, we got to take the other
Agreed.
bigs out.
Agreed.
So,
Great point.
yeah, I think Vanderbilt needs to be getting 30 minutes a game. I think
Yeah.
Edwards should probably also be getting maybe 25 to 30 minutes a game. And it's funny, I've been kind of talking about getting. Sorry, I have to get my dog up.
It's all good.
Felt like doing chores. He's gonna say hello. He just wants to say hello to everybody one more time.
What up, Theo?
Hey, everybody. um,
Um,
but
they took 45 free throws tonight. Like that is kind of outrageous. Um, maybe that's a standard, outing for James Harden, but not for a whole team of Denver Nuggets, right? So, like, the fact that Nikola Jokic for the majority of his career never really got to the line because his contact is his game is about contact less, right? He always goes away from the play to make his shots, and unorthodox as well.
you say
But
D'Lo?
like, no, I think I said
Oh,
Jokic.
Jokic. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So getting to the line 45 times is kind of like a stretch for our team to give them, to hand them the game. They kind of gave us some moments of encouragement by getting us to the line as well, and kind of sticking it up in the third quarter a little bit. But I don't know, like they made the same number of shots with 15 less field goal attempts. They had like 12 more free throws. That's the difference in the game. Like we could just clean up a little bit of our like incessant, need to foul and to kind of, bat down to play, try to go for the block.
Ah,
What you see from like Edwards is kind of straight up defense. We see from the majority of the time from Ed Davis is straight up defense. When like Wancho tries to go for the block, Naz Reid gets 5 fouls in 10 minutes. It's just you got to play your role and know that your role is so meaningful out there that you can't be taken out. You got to play those minutes, and if you get taken out of the game, it's because most often it's because you're getting out maneuvered and you're out thinking yourself. Naz Reid is trying to be something other than Naz Reid, and he's just Naz Reid.
yep,
He's going to be quality. He's going to be quality for us moving forward in the future. He's going to be a significant role player. But right now, he just needs to be on the court.
yep. We just need bodies, and we need him to be a big that doesn't foul it, like you said, 5 fouls in 10 minutes. But you brought up a good point though, and one that I wanted to bring up: the fouls, the unnecessary fouls that we had tonight. We had like 3 or 4 crucial fouls that were just so stupid that don't make sense to me. Like we have 2 people on Jokic, 2 people, and actually I thought that was going to be the play right there. But we have 2 people on Jokic, and we've got hands up, hands up. We're just staying walled up, nothing. He has nowhere to go, and then we just do little bat down
Yeah.
just on his wrist, and then foul, free throws in the bonus. And then it's like we did that multiple times where there was just these tiny fouls that were fouls, but were just so pointless and does not do anything to inhibit their ability to score or not score. It was just it was in situations where if we would have just let it happen, if they make it, oh well. It's kind of like when Steph Curry pulls up from half court. You let it happen because you know what? I mean, maybe not with him anymore, but with certain players, you're just gonna let that happen. If they make the shot, they make the shot, and we were not letting them make that shot, make that difficult shot. We were just giving them the foul or the free throws. So it just drove me insane, and that makes a big difference, and so does that foul call at the end of the third quarter makes a big difference in this game with how close it was. I mean, D'Lo wrapping up with who was it? Was that Campazzo?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
He was heated with Campazzo. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was like trash talking him, and I was like, let's not trash talk the 30-year-old rookie that's just about to beat us for 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
But thank
sure.
God he did not shoot like he did yesterday. I was gonna be so mad. But
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to the days where we're not losing by 11 or 15, but we're losing by 1 or 3. Those are going to be really fun, exciting losses to take and glean from. But until Cat gets back, I have a really hard time finding who is going to take over games and show the level of consistency that maybe Malik Beasley has all season long. He was off tonight, but at the same time, he still produced 15, 16 points, so that's fine. It's just we need some level, some ground to like ride with. So then when like there's no offensive flow in the fourth quarter, we have a play to go to. The fact that D'Lo and Rubio share the court together, I think, is a brain fart on Saunders' part. I don't think they can. I don't think there's any way whatsoever that they should be sharing the court together. And to this point, and this is like, it shames me to say this out loud, Rubio looks awful out there right now. This whole season, he's kind of had mediocre to poor play. And it's okay. Like, I will give him the benefit of the doubt because he used to be one of my favorite players, but he's very aggravating to watch. Costly turnovers. We have Jalen Noel out there. We have Jordan McLaughlin. Like we didn't see any of those guys, and they were available today. I believe Jalen Noel was at least,
He was. Yep. Noel was. I saw that
and
just
he
before the
can
game.
kind of get it. He kind of get his own shot whenever he wants to. And while Rubio is excellent as a floor general, our offense is so mediocre, if not like generic, that anyone can run our offense. It's just bring the ball up, have a double screen, and then figure something out, or have a drag screen or a ball handoff. It's like very, very simple, pedantic stuff. But it works. At least for this team right now, early on the season, it's working. Maybe they're slowly ingraining more plays in the offensive system. Right now, Rubio is so goddamn predictable that he's always going to pass the ball. And I believe he needs to be monitored closely. If his first 5 minutes of the first half are kind of just like basically empty points, empty minutes, a couple assists here, that's it. Like maybe we should go in a different direction in the second half. Maybe we should use not like a Tibbs mentality, but use D'Lo to its fullest extent, because D'Lo was great this game. Like minus the first few minutes in the first quarter, he was great this game. And I think we needed more of him, even though there's a lot of crap that we can say about how he takes shots and the timeliness of his shots. I was worried about our team when Rubio was in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was generating the offense? I would rather see Rubio pass it to Edwards. Edwards kind of run the show.
Which,
And
I mean,
I'm just worried when Rubio's on there because he's such a detriment offensively, and he's showing us that Facundo Campazzo can get by him, and he has to grab him in transition and grab him on at the 3-point line. He can't guard anyone right now, and I'm frustrated because I'm such a believer in what Rubio is as a basketball player and what he can mean to our future, at least our immediate future this season.
yeah.
I wonder what he even fucking says to our team, and when we all huddle up, like when we call foul and we all huddle up, what does he say? Play defense, okay? Talk to yourself about that. Like,
Yeah.
I worry about what he's trying to like convey, being on the court, and especially with D'Lo. I don't like the pairing at all.
Yeah.
I really like Beasley with a lot of the ball handling abilities and Edwards with the ball handling abilities when it's not D'Lo.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of weird, but like the NBA is evolving. It's not necessarily a pass first league, It's simple offense,
ISO.
easy buckets, ISO here and there. The pick and roll is a little bit dead because no one's playing in the post anymore. There's no Nikola Pekovic to give dump passes into.
Yeah.
So Rubio's role has been diminished.
Mm-hmm.
So can he be a leader? Can he at least spot up and shoot a three here and there? Can he get simple offenses running? That's what we need. In the fourth quarter, when there's no buckets, when there's no offense, and he's in the court, get him off the fucking court.
Yeah, when it's, by the way, welcome back, Godfrey Chamberlain.
Oh, hey, Godfrey.
But I don't like D'Lo and Rubio playing together, especially at the end of the game. Yeah. And I was talking about this the other day. I don't necessarily mind seeing D'Lo off ball, but to Ashwin's point, I think Beasley and Edwards are good enough ball handlers, and especially once Cat comes back too, that we don't really need Rubio. And my not so secret conspiracy theory is that Rubio was brought in for purely trade. And I don't mean as in we traded for him. I mean like he was meant to be used for salary in a future trade. And I think that depended, if we were starting off the season good, and I have talked about this, if we started off really hot, and let's say a team like the Suns with Devin Booker starts off really bad, we have to make a trade. And I'm not saying that we wouldn't have the salary, but there were pieces that would make sense that we could trade along with Rubio, because Rubio will be an expiring next year, for a team that maybe was looking to tank. And he's not a bad team to have on a tanking team because he can get the ball to people, although he's making a ton of mistakes right now. And to your point, it's hard for him to be a leader right now because he's making all these mistakes. He's making really stupid mistakes too, where he's like the other day, we're down by 30, he's doing behind the back passes, and it's like, no, that's Cat's job. That's Cat's job to do that, not yours. Just kidding, I don't want Cat to do that. But he's doing these crazy passes, and he's just, how many turnovers did he have in the last half of tonight's game? It was just crushing, and it's hard for that. And I would love to just see we got our Vanderbilt wish. I want to see Anthony Edwards become more of a ball handler. I get that he's 19. I get that he's going to make mistakes. I get that his handle's not perfect, but it works right now. You know, he's not turning the ball over that much. Although tonight he kept really close a lot of times. But and tonight was probably his worst night ball handling. However, I can just see the future. He's only 19, but I can see the future of
Yeah, you can see it.
he's going to be that, like you said, we're going to use him like a Luka, like a Harden, and have him drive, get contact, or pass it out to 3-point shooters, which he will have a plenty of 3-point shooters around him.
Dude, the dream scenario. That's a dream scenario.
I mean,
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry for cutting you off.
no, that's exactly what I was going to say. It is the dream.
That's a dream scenario because he can take anyone one on one, and he can even go through the lane and have Cat on the perimeter and pass to Cat. That's a fucking gasm explosion. D'Lo off ball, pass it to D'Lo, 3-point explosion. Like I love that idea. Beasley at the 2, like Edwards running point. Culver can run sometimes as well. It's just his handle is very, very soft, and he is low to the ground when he dribbles, and he's kind of a little bit jerky with his motions. And I think he got into a couple like turnover situations as well. But just seeing that, by committee we can rebound. By committee we can run the point. And I just feel like Rubio's value in today's league, specifically on our team, is kind of mentorship. It's leadership. It's vet presence. And to your point, maybe he came here on a deal, like on a kind of like wink, wink under the table, not like Joe Smith, but like come here, let's see this thing work. Ride this, Minnesota mentality a little bit longer. We love you here, but also we might suck, and if we suck, we'll look to give you an opportunity at a contender. And so maybe we'll probably trade Rubio either this year or end of next year because it's good contract. It's a good contract to get off the books, especially coming into the season after. But I don't know, like I hate saying that about Rubio because he was like the one who brought me back into Timberwolves basketball when I was at such a low point, like rooting for Rashad McCants and Corey Brewer to come out of anything. Like, I don't know, man. So I feel weird saying that, but he just looks so outdated in today's NBA.
His game, his play over the beginning of the season here, as I was so hyped coming into the season to have him back because I thought it would be a really helpful. I knew that his shot was still his shot, but like, I knew that his playmaking ability and his defense could make a difference for this team. And obviously Ricky, the eyelashes, the hair, everything. I was very excited. I was very excited, and I knew that 2-year deal that we had with him, I was going to be sad to see him go. And now, I think his play is making it so that I unfortunately I don't know if I'd be sad if he had to go. I think I'd probably be happy because that would mean that we were moving on to the future of this team, which will be a modern NBA team playing modern NBA game. We just have to wait a little bit longer until there's a new modern NBA. But
we gotta wait though. We gotta be patient.
Yeah, exactly.
We waited through the KD in the West era. Now we gotta get rid of Luka in the West.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Juancho Hernangomez? Yes, there's a tons of positive to take away from tonight, and throughout the season, there were glimpses of when he could dunk here and there, and when he kept to the lane, and he was almost making a shot here or there, taking a lot of threes, missing them all. He's what we kind of need at the 4 spot, even though he's kind of a sieve defensively. He's kind of what we need at the 4 spot. What are your thoughts on him tonight and moving forward? Can he sustain any semblance of what he showed tonight?
I think it's tricky because if you have a defensive center like Ed Davis out there, assuming he doesn't have 4 fouls within 4 minutes, you can kind of play him at the 4 because you need offense since Ed Davis isn't going to be there, and you can give up some defense at the 4 if you have Ed Davis at the 5. But with Cat coming back, I'm just going to play this game with this question that you give me with Cat. It's tricky because if Cat's only going to be offensive and he's not going to have a ton of defense, it's really hard for me to want to have him at the 4. I know I keep harping on this, but Vanderbilt at the 4 with Towns at the 5 makes me very, very excited. And that to
Yeah.
me seems like even though you're losing that offensive, like the stretchability of having a Wancho out there and having 3-point shooters that either Cat could pass out to or Edwards could pass out to. I mean, assuming Wancho can make threes, but that would be nice. But at the same time, I don't trust Wancho at this time, and I think we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer to see if we can trust him.
Sure. I think in the perfect world, he's our bench big off the bench. He can come in and kind of do a lot of the dirty work at the 5 or the 4, and he can be foul prone, and that's fine because we don't need him to close games. Um, and if he shows, like a 30%, 40% clip from 3, that's what he's kind of been paid to do. Um, that's great. We don't need him to score 15. We might need to score an amount of points coming off the bench and at least supply, relief for Cat and potentially Vanderbilt, right? Starting at the 4. Cat's out, so let's play Vanderbilt. Like,
Yeah.
we need some potential future big to kind of shine out in this moment, right? It's not Ed Davis.
Oh
He's not in our future.
no, he's not.
Vanderbilt probably could be. So it's like, let's play the fuck out of him.
Definitely need to. Well, I think we've come to the point of the night where it's the Connecticut water, five roast beef sandwiches, player of the game or
Yeah.
MVP of the game.
It's TSR time.
TSR time, yes, exactly. But who, and I can go first if you'd like, but who is your
It's fine.
player of the game?
My player of the game, hands down, 1,000%, was D'Angelo Russell. A lot of suspect, play coming up to this game. A lot of like moments where he showed his brilliance, but like nothing consistent. He was very steady tonight, and yeah, he took 21 shots. That's fine. We need someone to take shots, but we don't need like a stinker from him. And we got a steady play. We got to the line. I wanted him to get 10 assists a couple games ago. He got to that point tonight, 11 assists. He didn't look like he was silly, hacking players left and right here for silly fouls like he's done in the past early in the quarters. So he was out there meaningfully, and he was out there when it counted.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed the fact that he, came to play today. And like, let's say, he's worth the money when this type of D'Lo comes out.
That's true. Wasn't necessarily the answer I was expecting. I think you already know who I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And feel free, chat. Who is your player of the game? But my player of the game was easily Jared Vanderbilt. I mean, Vanderbilt was. I mean, it wasn't a game until he came in, and then he came in and changed the tone and the pacing and everything about this game. And I don't even know. I don't know how many minutes he played, but it felt like every minute that he was out there, something good was happening. And
I think a career high in minutes.
It's got to be right. He hasn't. I mean, I forgot he came over from Denver. I totally forgot about that until the last game when they mentioned that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty crazy to think that they had that kind of depth sitting in their 3rd or 4th spot in the roster, which then they proceeded to give out both of their other bigs in Plumlee and who else did they get rid of? I can't remember.
Jeremy Grant.
Oh yeah, Grant. Yep.
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, those two. Man, Grant would be a killer player for us right now too. But no, Vanderbilt's my pick for sure. And I think we
Godfrey
both
agrees with you.
Good, yeah. Thank you, Godfrey. Yeah, I mean Vanderbilt was great. I mean, it's hard to not say D'Lo, to be honest. Honestly though, I didn't realize that he had the 30 some odd points until the game was done and they were talking about stats, and I was like, oh, I guess D'Lo did contribute that. It was very similar to how it was like, wow, Jokic has 35 points or whatever it is. It's like it doesn't feel like I felt like he kind of had. I mean, not a bad game, but it didn't feel like he was dominating us necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to change my pick right now after what you just said, it was a quiet 33 to some degree, right? I would probably go with Vanderbilt, but I think I went this direction knowing that you would probably say Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Because we were both very hard on the process of Vanderbilt. I would say that he was what I will remember from this game. Not like the random threes that D'Lo shot or like the jam by Anthony Edwards. Those are the things that I'm going to take away from this game and remember and put in my little like internal highlight reel. His play is so like contagious and hopefully kind of like rubs off on the other players so like they can dive in get more energy on the court because, damn, dude, we need it. We need something to like increase our intensity out there.
Yeah, we definitely do.
I
And
wonder if he starts. Like, do we go down by 15?
yeah, I don't know. Well, we're playing against Portland next. And Portland's been struggling a little bit. Their record's not so good, isn't it? It's not.
I'm
Um,
not sure.
I just know that they've been struggling more than I expected. I expected them, and you and I both kind of expected them to have a really good season. With the players they have, there's really not a reason they shouldn't be. I mean, we could have the same kind of syndrome that we're having, where it's taking longer for us to get going. But
Yeah, sure.
um, trying to pull up the standings real quick. But
I think they're 3-4, and they might be playing right now. So I think they are playing right now.
okay.
And looks like they lost to the Chicago
Oh
Bulls.
my gosh, the Bulls are 4-4.
Oh no,
Oh no!
no!
Wow. So that's
Was
crazy.
Billy Donovan the answer?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Oh man, the
Or wait,
wait,
do they
what?
have Billy Donovan?
The
Yeah, they do.
Bulls? Yeah, the Bulls. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Who's coaching the OKC now? I don't remember.
Um, it is an unpronounceable name.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a no name.
yeah. Well, they have a better record or better win percentage than us right now. So, and they have
The Thunder do?
infinitely more picks. Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
They're two.
Whatever.
They're 2-4. We're 2-5. So
Okay.
they're dominating us.
The coach is Mark Dagenat.
All right, I'll take that.
Yeah, write that down.
All right, so we've talked about our player of the game, and chat, please feel free to participate. Godfrey is the only one that participated in the first one. Shame on you all. But but um, who is your flop or bust of the game?
Um, well, mine is pretty obvious, and I'll be Ricky Rubio for the second straight game, and I almost want to say for the entire season, the biggest flop for me so far has been Rubio. Um, and I don't really have a whole lot to say other than it was Rubio because Rubio, um, in both stints that he had significant minutes in the first and second half, he took a lead or took a moment where we were building and crushed it down. Like the random plays where they're in foul, they're in the penalty, and you take him and you take a 3-on-1 break and you foul him to put him in the line is unacceptable. You're a vet, you're a savvy player, you're so smart, you know all the angles and everything, and you foul a dude when we're in foul trouble, when we're in the penalty already. Um, the last game when he tried to take over the game with a bunch of possessions where he just bricked after brick, at least he didn't do it tonight, but he instead cost us possessions because he kept on turning the ball over or a pass that led into a turnover. I was very, very frustrated watching him play tonight.
I agree, and it's hard to not say Rubio tonight. So I won't. It is Rubio. I mean, he just like you said. I mean, he cost us countless possessions with bad passes and bad fouls, and I mean, we lost the game by what? I actually it was closer than I thought it was for some reason. Only 7 points. Or yeah, 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a couple of Rubio possessions there that kill us, and I don't like playing that game where we say like, "Oh, this one play in the second quarter cost us the game," or like something like that. But I mean, Rubio legitimately did cost us a lot of points tonight, so that hurts. If I were to choose like an honorable mention for bust of the night, I would have to be Nas, but I don't really want to pick on him too much just because he's had some good games this season.
Yeah, we don't
Um,
have to worry about him.
and he foul wise, he was getting in a lot of foul trouble tonight, really quickly, which hurts us when we're going against potentially the top one of the top 3 or 4 centers in the league, top 3
Yeah.
centers in the league. You can't be fouling out like that. Um,
Right.
Especially when you have Ed Davis. So he's my third honorable mention. But but I don't think he was that terrible tonight for what I expect out of him. Um, but yeah, so next game looks like it is a late game. It is so I think we're playing in Portland, so it's late for
Yeah.
us here in the central time zone. But 9 p.m. Central, 7 Western, right? That's how that works. Yeah. Lehman and Culver are your busts. Okay. Yeah, I think Ashwin would agree with you on Lehman.
Yeah.
until Ashwin messaged me, and then instantly Lehman went on like a 7-0 run or something. But
I felt the same thing you felt though. Like when he came in, he just like gave a pass away, and he had a foul that was unnecessary. I think he was at the free throw line, and he like pushed some dude to get a rebound, like the one possession to costly to cost up 2 free throws in addition to another free throw set was like unforgivable, really. But I mean, those little like ticky tack fouls add up. Those little small mistakes add up, and 7 point game is a 7 point game.
yeah, I mean, it was a close game. It was a good game. Thursday night. So I know the players probably hate this, but I love this schedule. I love having games every 2 nights. So it's like day off game, day off game. I love it. I'm sure it's terrible for their bodies, but
Yeah.
it's my favorite. The lockout season was my favorite season ever because of the amount of games
Yeah.
that were so close together.
Mhm.
And this game against Portland is not one of those playoff series little back-to-backs, though. We only have one game against them, and then Saturday we go up against the then we go into a little playoff series against the Spurs, who are seriously injured right now. So they
Oh.
they had, I think, Derek White go out today with like a broken
Oh.
toe or something like that. So they're hurting. So
Well, they're hurting, but they beat the Clippers today.
did they really? God,
Yeah.
Popovich.
Sorry to get your hopes dashed.
I mean, I don't really have hopes, and I think that's what we need to take forward
No hope.
throughout the season. We have no hope. We're Timberwolves fans. We're Minnesota sports fans. Let's give up hope altogether. Let's
Yeah.
just start to enjoy the little things in life. And I mean, today in Minnesota it was nice and warm. It was a balmy 30, so it was kind of nice.
I
Yeah,
like balmy.
yeah. There was a lot less snow today. I even saw some grass, so that's nice.
Those pleasures of life.
Yeah, I miss Seattle right now. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a fun game. Again, for all of you new people that have joined us tonight, we stream after every game, win or loss. This was a good game, but the last three
game.
before this, we were blown out, and guess what? We were still here talking about the game, answering your questions, keeping you involved, and keeping you in the loop. So, if you want, we're only one away from our follower goal of 25. So,
Spread the love.
I mean, if you aren't following, give us that follow, and you'll see that your little name pop up. So that's your prize. But yeah, we had a good time watching this game finally, and I'm excited for Portland's game. I love Portland, and I think that they're probably my second favorite team. So I'm very excited to see Rocco again.
Yeah, same.
Excited to see Dames trash talking with Anthony Edwards on their rap games.
Sure. I'm not excited for seeing Enes Kanter just gonna tear it up in the post against us. But
yeah, so who's the random white guy that's gonna score 30 on us?
Oh, I was gonna say it's probably Kanter, but he's not as random as a Mozgov or a it doesn't matter. Who is their white dude on the bench?
I know, I'm trying to look at they have to have some random one that nobody's ever heard of.
Well, it's not a white dude, but Harry Giles.
Well, that could happen.
That could happen.
That could be. Maybe that should be our pick. We should have a game every game where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, who's going to be the random player that's not
Sure.
a starter that'll
Yeah.
go off for more
Let's do
than
it.
20 points.
Oh, more than 20 points. That's a high ask.
I thought it was pretty low. Maybe we'll say 15.
15.
Yeah, 15.
A
Okay.
Campazzo line.
Yeah, a Campazzo. Yes. He's the perfect
Who's going to Campazzo
example.
us?
Who is the Campazzo of the Portland Trailblazers? Find out on Thursday evening. It's gonna be a late stream. But any final thoughts from you before we pass it off for the night?
Oh, I miss Cat, and I appreciate you guys all being here.
Yeah, no, definitely Covington. Covington. I think he could hurt us.
Ooh, could Covington go off on us?
He could hurt us a lot.
He's having kind of a dud season so far.
Yeah, he struggled with us a little bit last season, or was it last season or the year? No, the year before. Man, all these years are blending together. My goodness. But
They've all been bad.
yeah, is Peck on our team still? I don't know. But are we still paying Aldrich's contract?
Shit.
Yeah, Covington probably got hurt us.
Kevin Martin, I think, just got off the books this year.
Oh, nice, good. Finally.
or last year, whatever. Yeah, that was
You're
a joke, but
you're welcome, Papa Bless or Papa Glenn.
yeah, Papa Glenn.
But anyways,
Cool. Well, I can't wait to see you on Thursday, and all of you as well. And thanks for listening in. Any final thoughts from you?
no final thoughts from me. Late Thursday night. Maybe we'll get our 25th follower on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's a
Alrighty.
goal. Let's go for it. All right.
See you guys then.
All right. Thank